From iPad accessories to digital picture frames, we have you covered when it comes to the latest in the tech world. Gadget guru and president of Harper Vision, Greg Harper, joins us with all the latest trends. Greg, welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Good morning, Meg.
Okay, so before we get started, we've got to talk about that iPhone prototype that was left at a bar of all places. It has been returned to Apple, but what kind of fallout are you hearing about?
Well, first of all, we don't know if this is the actual iPhone that's going to be released this summer. Apple typically runs more than one prototype, so it could be one of prototypes. It could be a phone for next year, for all we know. So it's probably legitimately an Apple iPhone. It's probably one of the prototypes. It's probably one of many that are out there. So it's not great. I know there are conspiracy theories that think this was all a big plant by the Apple PR. But I think in this case it really was lost for real, and because Apple immediately, as soon as they found out it was lost, they actually remotely turned it off, so nobody could actually see what it really had operating on it. And
so could you learn anything from it if it was turned off?
Yes, you could learn something from it, because you could see the build. For example, they looked at the back of it and they saw that it had a different type of back casing, which indicates that it would probably done that way to improve the antenna for the reception. As you know, a lot of people complain about the iPhone's reception.
Right.
It also, there's an upcoming phone here. This is the HTC HD2. This is the one phone that is likely to be a competitor for the iPhone coming up. This is the T-Mobile version, but there's a Sprint coming up with 4G. So this is going to be a very serious competitor to the Apple iPhone. So the fact that they have one that's also squared off, that also has a much bigger camera on the back, that also has a front-facing camera, all of those things were on this prototype. So one assumes that these, in fact, is pretty close to real. Well,
it was quite the find. Okay, let's move on to the iPad. It has been around for a couple weeks now.
Absolutely.
Give us some general impressions.
Well, first of all, I really love it. This is one of the things I did a thing that's not normally for me to do. I played the plain old consumer. I got one of these things. I was about to take a plane ride. I plugged the thing into iTunes, bought a movie off iTunes, sat on the airplane and watched the movie. At the end of the flight, I'd read the Wall Street Journal, watched the movie. I still had 86% battery power left. Watched the full movie. It was great. Everybody on the plane was like, "What's that? What's that?" And so it really is quite nice.
Any complaints?
Well, the big one, of course, is the lack of flash. So, for example, I can't look at spots that we do here on ABC News Now because it's not supported on the iPhone. So that is a big issue. Now, Apple says not a big deal. Go to iTunes, you can get the spots on there. But a lot of people like to go to websites like Hulu and other things like that. They just can't do that on the iPad.
All right, and there are a few accessories out there.
Absolutely.
A keyboard pad and a case. Tell us about those.
First of all, cases. I mean, as you might expect, there are all kinds of cases. These are ones like the other pink ones, and they're ones with plastic covers with covers on them, and pockets and cases. I mean, all different types of cases, a lot of different things. There also is a very nice keyboard dock. So the iPad just sticks in the dock here, and you can type on it, so it gives you a full keyboard. Or if you don't want to do that way, you can get a regular dock. Like this, and then you have a wireless keyboard, and with the two of those you can actually use the iPad. So those are nice things. There's an adapter coming that will allow you to put your photos directly into the iPad without having to go to iPhoto, so that's kind of nice.
Now, believe it or not, there are alternatives to the iPad, and it's called the Juju Internet Tablet. What is this?
This is the Juju, and as you can see, it's quite big. It is an internet tablet, and what I mean an internet tablet is basically this is a portable web browser, much bigger screen. It has a camera on the front, so you can use it for video conferencing. You can do Skype on it. It has all your favorite applications on it. It's a touch thing, as you can imagine, so you can see it. It's a very nice piece of hardware. It has a USB port on it, but it's not an iPad, unfortunately. It cost about the same, so it's still the $500 range, but it doesn't have all the apps associated with it, and it's first generation hardware. But it's going to be a lot of these tablets coming out. The Juju is probably one of the most interesting ones. HP's coming out with one we hear in another couple of weeks. That's going to be an interesting one, so there'll probably be 3 players out there.
Okay, let's move on to the AT&T digital picture frame, and how does this work? I need one of these, I think.
This frame, this is perfect. Mother's Day is coming up, and if you've got a mother who doesn't, for example, have internet access, here's a picture frame. You can hang it on the wall, and the best part about it, you just plug it in, but it has a telephone number on it. So basically, you can set it up so any of your friends, and you can choose who comes, doesn't come, can send photos to it. So all the grandkids can just simply simply text their photos or email their photos directly from their phone right to this picture frame. And it'll happen that it doesn't need internet access, it doesn't need a telephone line. You just plug it in and it works.
And how much does it cost?
It's a little expensive. It's about $280, although I'm sure it'll be coming down in subsidy prices. But there is a monthly fee for the picture receiving function. You can, of course, plug pictures in without that, but the beauty of this thing is the picture receiving function. It's a very cool product, especially, for example, my mother. I mean, she loves to get pictures, but doesn't have internet access. She doesn't really know how to use the internet, so this is perfect for her.
Right. And how many photos can you store?
Oh, hundreds of them. And there's an SD card or on the side of it. You can add more. It's a bright screen. As I said, it can be either stand up on its like this, or you can hang it on the wall. Just plug it in. That's all you have to do.
Easy.
It automatically works. Super easy.
All right. And finally, baseball season is back. So tell us about this pocket radar gun.
You know, I saw this thing and I went, wow, this is kind of interesting. This is basically the same technology the police use to track your speed on the highway, or in fact that they use at the ball games to capture the speed of a ball. And basically, it's a little Doppler radar system. You just aim it at something moving fast, press the red button, it'll tell you the speed. So for, if you're that coach for the Little League, or
right.
you've got your kids running around, you want to see how they're doing, you want to use it to improve performance, this thing is a really cool little device. And it's
cool
nice
looking.
And small.
How expensive?
It's $250 when it comes to, it's coming out just now. I don't think it's actually been released yet. It'll be out very shortly. But I understand there's a $50 rebate if you order it on the website right now. But I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's a full radar gun.
All right. Very, very cool. Greg, thanks so much for being here. Always appreciate it.
Thank you.
And for more, you can check out gadgetoff.com. That's all we have for this edition of Now You Know. I'm Meg Oliver in New York. Thanks for watching.
ABC News Now. Good to know. ABC News Now. Good to know.